Okay, it's raining, so I'm sorry if the sound is not that good. Um, but this video is about green tea and how beautiful I think this little plant truly is. From the Book of Tea, Kakuzo Okakura, he wrote, and I think this is actually a great book to begin with, but he wrote, "Meanwhile, let us have a sip of tea. The afternoon glow is brightening the bamboos. The fountains are bubbling with light. The soughing of the pines is heard in our kettle. Let us dream of evanescence and linger in the beautiful foolishness of things." I really like that because a lot of times I'll think reflectively on all the events which have taken place in my life, and it is the little things. For me, it's the small things that eventually become irreplaceable. And one of those small things definitely is green tea. I love green tea, and I am a I'm a green tea nerd. So ever since I was in college, I would receive a bi-monthly, I believe it was a bi-monthly catalog from Upton Tea Company. I had a tea timer. It had this this forest green color sand that would run through the timer. Um, but there's honestly so many health benefits of green tea, and it's amazing. What you'll find is medical reports, the language that they use um, within the medical community and jargon. It's really boring and sometimes seems unapproachable to many people. And on the opposite side, you look at pop culture, mass media, candy cane articles of health benefits. They're overly simplified. And with that said, green tea is king. I would argue that green tea is king for a wide variety of ailments. And we're talking so many different types of cancer. Cancer is something that was huge. My grandma passed away from cancer. My mom passed away from cancer. And both of those happened before I was 21. And green tea can help prevent heart disease, liver disease. In general, we're always finding that more and more reports are being published. So just be intuitive with your body and research and see what you find. Most of the benefits that are related or connected to green tea are due to its catechins. Some people say catechins, which predominantly are EGCG. And in human studies, humans using catechins have shown that metabolic syndrome can be helped. It's like obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular risk factors, coronary heart disease, coronary artery disease. If you consume this drink on a daily basis, and we're talking about long-term consumption, and when we're just going over the background of consuming tea and finding out what the health benefits are and what it can do for you, you find that it's extremely anti-inflammatory, it's anti-arthritic, it's antibacterial, it's antiviral, it's neuroprotective, neuro relating to the brain. And I've read some articles which say that it has a positive effect on reducing cholesterol rates, cholesterol levels in the body. And a lot of times you'll see something working really well, and in order to market something, they will try to isolate the compounds in a powder or a pill. And I'm no way saying that these things are not effective, but a general rule of thumb that I like to follow, or that I would recommend to my friends, just on a personal level, is the whole leaf is better than isolating certain compounds to have this cheap, readily sold little bottle of green tea tablets or whatever you call them. This plant, Camellia sinensis, it has been discovered thousands of years ago, 3000 BC, or earlier, some sources are saying. And ever since, people have been consuming tea. People have been attributing certain various outstanding, miraculous medical effects or benefits for including this into your body. And an analogy that I like to think of is you think of a drop of water hitting against stone every single day, every day, 20,000 times a day. And over the course of how, half a year, it doesn't look like anything has taken place. But if you allow that drop of water to hit the stone repeatedly for years and years and years, eventually that consecutive process of water dropping is going to carve a tunnel into the stone. And that tunnel is what green tea can do to your health and what it can do for your body, I promise. So that's a friendly promise. It's amazing how long people have been trying to write down and document the effects that this plant has in our body. It's one of the most popular beverages consumed worldwide. Tea is Camellia sinensis, and this specific plant, Camellia sinensis, can be consumed in a variety of teas that we like to categorize, such as green tea, black tea, oolong tea, white tea, but it's all coming from the same plant, Camellia sinensis. And it doesn't matter how you consume it. Some people argue that certain variations of the fermentation process are healthier than others. I personally just love warm drinks from Camellia sinensis. So there's an association between tea consumption and general health. Yes, this realization is, something that is valid and people are speaking about more and more. And a lot of research scientists are saying that it's the healthiest or one of the healthiest things that you can include. How great is that? Something so delicious, so calming, and such a beautiful addition to your day, which adds order, structure. It's so good for you. It's amazing. There are a lot of varieties of green tea. You should, or I would recommend becoming familiar with the different varieties, but also become familiar with sustainability as well. And actually in the Book of Tea, it was Kakuzo Okakura. He says, have you not noticed that the wildflowers are becoming scarcer every year? It may be that their wise men have told them to depart until man becomes more human. Perhaps they have migrated to heaven. And the writing is absolutely beautiful. The themes, and just make sure that anything that you do in life, no matter if it's buying tea online or everything that you buy, start to develop the habit of thinking in a sustainable manner. And not only start to think that way, act that way, because thoughts without actions, it's dead. They're dead. So anyways, there's different types of tea. We know that there's sencha, one of my personal favorites, sencha. Sencha is probably the most frequently drank tea. It's super well known, especially in Japan. The leaves are steam rolled to produce the texture, the taste, and the quality. It's It's a beautiful generic tea. I don't want to say generic sencha. You're not generic. You're beautiful. But after that, there's different varieties of sencha. I remember when I was living in Japan, there was fukamushi, I believe it was fukamushi sencha. It's just sencha, but it's steamed for a longer period of time. Matcha. Matcha is the king of all kings when it comes to green tea. Number one, because of the history, but matcha itself is a direct result of Japanese traditional tea ceremonies. And when you look at matcha in terms of its historical and cultural importance, or just stone ground matcha, when you're drinking it, you're drinking a full leaf. The leaf is fully consumed. You're taking in the entire leaf. Think of the health properties. You also have genmaicha. Genmaicha is genmaicha is a Japanese word. Genmai, genmai meaning brown rice, and cha is tea. Genmai cha, brown rice tea. It's soaked with brown rice that's steamed. It's steamed and soaked. It has this kind of like popcorn-like appearance, really dark brown. But when it's mixed with the sencha itself, it's amazing. I love the taste. It's really nutty. It's like 50% tea, 50% brown rice, half and half. I like a little more sencha compared to the brown rice, but that's just my thoughts. I'm actually drinking some right now. Hojija. Hojija is made by roasting sencha. It's slightly less bitter. It's a tea for, yeah, anytime. Caffeine. How much caffeine does tea have? Yeah, it has caffeine. Okay, and it will vary depending on like the company or the brand that you're purchasing from, the temperature of the water that you're using while steeping the tea. But my rule of thumb is don't think too much about it. Make sure that this is from my perspective, but if you're sensitive to the effects of caffeine, don't drink it after a certain time of the day, say 12 o'clock, and become your own recorder and monitor of the effects and processes that are going on in your body. Because yeah, it is a stimulant, okay? And people will find that drinking green tea is great for like mood, energy levels, and concentration. But everything is different between people, and too much caffeine for some people can disrupt certain desires and certain biological functions that people would like to produce. Something again from the Book of Tea that I love from Okakura. I think he's an amazing author, a classic author. Thank you. Speaking of tea, he said, "It has not the arrogance of wine, the self-consciousness of coffee, nor the simpering innocence of cocoa." I like it so much. Tea, the Book of Tea, everything. So my recommendation is try to include green tea into your life on a daily basis and see how you like it. If this small little message has inspired you to think about your health, or think about even reading about things that you love, anything, just whatever you're doing online, make sure it's some type of process to learn and to grow, and not getting sucked into the repetitive smartphone games of wasting life. Find activities that you love, find things that you love, and include them into your life. And yeah, if you think this video was okay, please check out the links in the description below. I like to put a few links in my videos. If we're able to, I don't know, connect, help each other in any way, hook me up with a thumbs up. Please drink some tea. I wish you the best life ever, and I will see you later.